Here's your news for July 21st, 2020. And your headlines for today include: the real reason why Apollo Crews was left out revealed. Kayla Braxton was mercilessly bullied. Former world champion denies all current rumors on him, but shares a breaking news. WWE plans a huge announcement on NXT. Vince McMahon changed his mind about Extreme Rules title match finish on day of the show. WWE has done some major things at Extreme Rules that didn't make the final show. Fox and USA growing impatient with WWE sinking viewership numbers. Released WWE NXT superstars set for AEW debut. Former WCW star headed to AEW. Luke Gallows and Karl Anderson say Vince McMahon stole their idea and used it onto other superstars, and more. We are kicking off today with news from Apollo Crews, and though he was set to defend the United States Championship against MVP at the horror show at Extreme Rules, that match never took place. Instead, Crews never made it to the ring, and after declaring himself the winner via forfeit, MVP crowned himself the new United States Champion. On PW Insider Elite Audio, Mike Johnson confirmed that Michael Cole's claims that Crews failed his pre-show evaluation isn't the case, as the US champion reportedly didn't even show up to the show that day. It was also reported that superstars who worked the horror show at Extreme Rules were told that Crews wasn't cleared to compete. Another notable absence from Raw this week was Billie Kay, and whilst the on-screen explanation was that she was taking care of other business for the Iconics elsewhere, there's no confirmation on what really kept her off-screen. There's no details on what caused Crews or Billie Kay to miss the show, though it's entirely possible that either has tested positive in the company's latest tests, and if so, we wish the United States Champion and the Iconics member a speedy recovery from whatever issue has forced them to miss shows. One person who we know has tested positive twice in the past is Kayla Braxton, who's issued a statement on her recently reactivated Twitter. In the statement, Braxton spoke about first testing positive in March, and after recovering, testing positive again a month later before she turned her attention to some so-called fans. She said, "Last night you were all tweeting some super insensitive things regarding my health. A couple of you even said that you thought I had died, and maybe that would have been for the best. Guys, this isn't okay." Regardless what you believe about the current situation, nobody deserves to be bullied online about it, especially someone who has tested positive twice, and hopefully fans will take Braxton's statement to heart, as she encourages people to be better during these hard times. We are focusing on Ric Flair next, as the dirtiest player in the game has refuted some inaccurate reporting about his health. Recently, the New York Post ran a story on Flair being spotted without a mask, and a source told them that the Nature Boy had tested positive, and though this isn't the case, that doesn't mean all the Flair family are well. Flair told the outlet, "That is absolutely incorrect. My wife does. We live in a 5,000 square foot home. I live in the basement. She lives upstairs on the 3rd floor, and she got sick." Flair hung up before any follow-up questions were asked, and later texted the Post to confirm he's in excellent health. The two-time WWE Hall of Famer recently went on the record saying that the WWE Performance Center is a safer place for him to be than any supermarket, and we'd like to wish a speedy recovery to his wife, Wendy. Over to NXT now, and William Regal is set to make a huge announcement on this Wednesday's show. News of the general manager's announcement was confirmed on this week's Raw, and whilst no other information was given regarding the announcement, it's likely to do with the title status of NXT and North American champion Keith Lee. Whatever Regal's announcement is, this week's show already has a lot going for it, as Killian Dane will face Dexter Lumis, whilst Dominik Dijakovic will look to end the undefeated streak of Karrion Kross. Kross leveled Dijakovic on last week's show, and if he wants a shot at the NXT title, another huge win this Wednesday would be perfect for Kross and Scarlett. Back to the ring now, and it looks like the feud between Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler isn't over. On this week's Raw, the WWE Champion spoke about his future and initially refused Ziggler's request for a rematch, but accepted it when the show-off said that McIntyre can pick the stipulation. The idea of a superstar setting the stipulation was used at Extreme Rules, where McIntyre was able to survive an Extreme Rules match where he could lose his title via DQ and countout, and was mistakenly labeled the Universal Champion on WWE's Instagram account. This match will take place on next week's Raw, and after such a physical collision at the horror show, It'll be interesting to see what stipulation the champion will pick. We've got some huge news from Kairi Sane, as the former Women's Tag Team Champion is reportedly finished with WWE. PW Insider is reporting that Sane's final date with WWE was yesterday, and that the 2 episodes of Raw taped on July 20th will mark her final appearances on TV. On this week's show, Sane got a big win over SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley after the former hugger tried to cost Asuka the Raw Women's title at the pay-per-view. There's been speculation about Sane's status in WWE for a while, and it's being reported that the Kabuki Warrior is finishing with the company on good terms and is returning to Japan to be with her husband, and possibly serve as a WWE ambassador overseas. Whatever the case may be, Sane has done plenty in her tenure with WWE, including capturing the NXT Women's title, Women's Tag Team titles, and the Mae Young Classic. And if this is the end of Sane's run in WWE, she's achieved much more than many other superstars. From one Kabuki Warrior to another now, as Asuka is still the Raw Women's Champion, despite Sasha Banks currently holding the physical title. After the controversial finish to their match at Extreme Rules, which saw Bayley appoint herself as the referee when the official was incapacitated, the title was addressed on this week's Raw by Stephanie McMahon. Appearing via a video link, Stephanie confirmed a Raw Women's title match for next week's show between Asuka and Banks, and announced the title can change hands next week via pin, submission, DQ, countout, or if anyone interferes. The match at Extreme Rules was unique to say the least, and according to Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, Asuka was originally set to retain, and the finish fans saw was a last-minute change by Vince McMahon. It's been speculated that the finish was changed to get more fans tuned in to see the fallout on Raw, as the Red brand has a record-low 1.56 million viewers last week, which also explains why the unsanctioned match between The Big Show and Randy Orton took place on Raw instead of at the pay-per-view. Hopefully next week's title match will stop anyone from getting involved in what should be an entertaining affair, and we'll find out who is the undisputed Raw Women's Champion next week. Whilst Extreme Rules may not have gone as Asuka wanted, spare a thought for Rey Mysterio, who lost the eye for an eye match, and now more details have emerged about the match. PW Insider is reporting that the WWE originally used prosthetic makeup to shoot an entire sequence that would have seen Rey's eye pop out, which would have led to Seth Rollins vomiting in response. According to multiple sources, Vince McMahon hated how this looked, so it was edited out of the final broadcast. The eye for an eye match will go down as one of the most gruesome things WWE has done in several years, and whilst Rollins faced Aleister Black on Raw, Mysterio wasn't at the Performance Center to keep up the storyline. Now, it's no secret that WWE's ratings haven't been great lately, and now it looks like Fox and the USA Network are getting fed up. According to Steve Carrier of Ringside News, both networks are getting tired of the WWE's low figures. As he explained, "We were told that stories about Fox and USA being patient with WWE are bullshit. They are not only really concerned about these ratings, but they are also worried about how the NFL will do more damage." NFL games typically take a chunk out of WWE's viewership, and with the league set to return later this year, it looks like the figures could get much worse before they get better. It's worth pointing out that neither Fox or USA have stated that they're going to cancel Raw or SmackDown, but they're certainly concerned, and have apparently run out of patience with WWE. Although the networks may be growing impatient, one person who doesn't seem too worried about the ratings is Vince McMahon. A source for WWE told WrestlingNews.co that the chairman believes that viewing figures will raise above 2 million again soon, and added, "Vince is doing what he can by putting on pay-per-view matches on Raw and SmackDown, but USA and Fox are happy, and everyone knows things will get better when we can get some people back at arenas." There was a time when WWE had hoped to have fans back in time for SummerSlam, but now the source has said that the company is hopeful fans will be back by September. Of course, that will be easier said than done, as the current situation shows no sign of slowing down, and until it does, fans shouldn't expect to be filling any WWE arenas. Back to Raw next, and one person who was in the building was Shelton Benjamin, who captured the 24/7 championship this week. In a backstage segment, MVP and Lashley attempted to intimidate then-champion R-Truth, and with a referee present, Benjamin attacked the rapping superstar to get the pin and the title. After his win, the Gold Standard left with MVP and Lashley, as after weeks of coaxing him to join, MVP now has a new member to the Hurt Business. The group's celebration in the ring was short-lived though, as they were interrupted by Ricochet, Cedric Alexander, and Mustafa Ali, who made his return to WWE TV after being moved to Raw. Ali was heavily rumored to be the SmackDown hacker, though that storyline never went anywhere, and hopefully the popular high flyer will be better used on the Red brand. Whilst last night's Raw saw plenty of action, it nearly didn't happen, as the WWE reportedly had several issues during the show. According to PW Insider, the show was meant to film at 1 p.m., but even an hour later hadn't filmed anything, which is especially worrying considering it's a 3-hour show. It was also reported that the company was doing deep rewrites for several segments, as superstars they planned for weren't there, and a source said that there was a lot of second-guessing going on, and quote, "No one is confident in any vision." That same source added that staff are all just looking to see what Vince McMahon doesn't reject and scrambling to appease Vince. It's previously been reported that WWE staff now try to pitch ideas as quickly as possible and get out, to avoid any backlash from the chairman. Whilst this week's Raw was obviously filmed and edited and broadcast on time, WWE were cutting things pretty fine, and this is just another example of the chaotic atmosphere backstage in WWE. Over to AEW now, as this week's edition of Dark will see the debut of a former NXT superstar. After Tino Sabbatelli was let go as part of WWE's April 15th releases, it's been confirmed that he'll be on Dark this week to team with Buddy Pierce and face the Best Friends. Under his new name, Sabby, we'll have to see how the former superstar does, but this is certainly a good start to his post-WWE career. Speaking of debuts, one person who wants to work with AEW is former WCW star Crowbar, though that could be easier said than done. When one fan tweeted out that AEW should sign Crowbar, saying that they were excited to see the matches Cody Rhodes could have with him, the TNT champion replied with a simple, "Who?" Of course, Cody knows who Crowbar is, though isn't seemingly a fan, and whilst some fans are hoping to see the former WCW star challenge for the AEW TNT title, it looks like the champion isn't a fan of that idea. Back to WWE now, and fans haven't seen Austin Theory for quite some time. After being called up to Zelina Vega's stable, before being moved to Seth Rollins' group, Theory quietly disappeared from TV, around the same time that he was accused of inappropriate behavior with a young girl. Now, Ringside News is reporting that Theory's name simply stopped coming up backstage, being described as total silence, so fans may not be seeing Theory on Raw soon or ever again. And finally, today we're ending with news from Luke Gallows and Karl Anderson, who have said that Vince McMahon stole their idea. Speaking to Unscripted, Gallows said he remembered pitching an idea that would have seen the two of them beat up Enzo Amore after trapping Big Cass in a car, only to see a very similar angle play out the next week with other superstars. Since leaving WWE, Gallows and Anderson have done big things, most recently signing with Impact Wrestling, and it seems like there's some bad blood between the Good Brothers and WWE.